love Naruto. It's that underdog story. You just work hard and get there, you know.
Exactly, man. Now you were an underdog story too, because right now let's talk about you. Because yeah, you play basketball, but you have a lot going on because you're from Egypt originally, and then you went to Scotland for school, for university, for basketball.
Yeah, no. So I was born in Saudi Arabia, so I've been all over. But I moved to Egypt and then came to Scotland when I was 8 for a kind of primary or elementary school, depending on where you're tuning in from. And
Hmm.
then did my high schooling there. Went to university locally as well.
Nice.
Still in Scotland, still in Glasgow, and not so sunny Glasgow. And
Mhm.
probably will be here for a few more years as part of
Okay.
my medical training, and then moving
Mhm.
on to maybe pastures anew, I think.
Okay, gotcha. Now, and that's a beautiful. So now you got so many different cultures underneath your belt, left, right, up, down. So you're well rounded when it comes to basketball. But you said you were born in Saudi Arabia. How's the
Yeah.
basketball scene out there compared when you went to Egypt? Compared to, like, did you see like a transition? Do you see more, less? Like, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty young when I was in those countries, so the
Okay.
exposure for it wasn't as much. But my older brother played basketball, and he was probably the first in the country, in the family, sorry,
Mm,
to kind of bring it into our family. And then
gotcha.
my cousins then grew obsessed with it. One of my
Mm,
cousins got a scholarship and went to play in Eastern Boston for a bit.
mm,
But ultimately, basketball wasn't his full kind of end game.
yeah.
But it kind of ran through the family from brothers to cousins, and we all played with each other. And I was the youngest, so I was trying to prove something. So so I got into the sport, and I when I was in my first or second year of high school, I was playing for the same team that my older brother was. So like
Really? So what was those competitions like in the backyard? Because how many brothers are there actually and cousins?
we are four brothers. So all of us. There's a couple of older ones that kind
Mm,
of grew a little bit separate to us, just because they
mm,
were kind of moving on when we were teenagers.
yeah.
But there was one brother that was 2 years older than me that I like to kind of compete with and everything, and he probably
Okay.
hated it because every time we got to the sport, I would be right there with him trying to beat him at it. So
Yeah. So back and forth. Them things are brutal, black eyes and all. And then, because not only at basketball, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of stuff on you. You also do a whole bunch of stuff like triathlons, duathlons, piathlons. I see you rowing. I see you doing like what got you into just being fit? Like, look at you doing the ab workout. Like, you must be made of rocks. Like, what made you get to that much athleticism?
I kind of when I stopped playing basketball competitively when I got into medical school because
Mm,
it's a hard thing to commit to when you're
yeah.
like a team sport. I didn't want to let anyone down, so I started
Mm,
thinking a bit more about the individual side. I started off with Muay Thai,
yeah.
so
Ooh.
competing, doing some amateur fights,
Hmm.
and then my aim was to do maybe like a couple of semi-pro fights before it was all over, but COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, I was like, I need an outlet. I'm going
Yeah.
crazy. So
Hmm.
I started running. Running
Yeah.
became ultra running. Ultra
Yeah.
running became triathlon. And then I like to go to the gym just because it's how you build your body and keep your resilience and continue to do these endurance sports. So
Yep.
so that's just a little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of none. So
Well, it looks like you're a master, man. And you're 27 years old. And you also said that you're married. Well, congratulations on being
thank
married.
you very
And
much.
now
Yeah.
I also have a question. Like, everyone asks me, how do I keep the energy up? Because this is me from the time I wake up. And I was reading like some articles that discipline is very key for you. Like, how
Mhm.
can you keep up your energy so well to do all these athletic things? And we're going to get into another part because you're also a leader in a lot of stuff. But how do you keep your energy up?
Yeah, I kind of take the approach that I don't even know. It doesn't have to be 10% better every
Mm,
day or every week, but a little bit better every day. So kind of 1%,
mm,
0.5%. And it just kind of increasing that volume. The same way you look at a triathlon plan or a marathon plan, you can just progressively overload. So
mhm.
it's kind of how I've approached life. I've kind of taken where my baseline's at, and I've just been like, I can just add a little bit more. I can just add a little bit more. Next week, I'll add a little bit more.
Mhm.
And over time, my operating level from 2 or 3 years ago to now is totally different. I'll have to say I really don't drink alcohol as much. That's probably a massive factor to it. Ever since I left university,
Mhm.
so because you got so much more energy, so
Well,
like
wait a minute. Oh, we're gonna talk about because you're in Scotland, and I'm not saying they all drink, but you know the Scottish know how to drink.
they
So,
absolutely do, and I had my day with it. So, but Yeah, I think I've just kind of got into the kind of whole holistic lifestyle well-being thing. I'll still
Yeah.
enjoy a good night out the proper Scottish way, but they're far and few now compared to before.
Well, and also I see that you work with FIBA, you work with the Olympic Committee, and I'm going to get in that. But also, you practicing a philosophy of pay it forward, which I've learned in Scotland. So I want you to explain it. Like, what is pay it forward in real life? But then, how are you encompassing it? And when it comes to like basketball and athletics.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So pay it forward. The philosophy of it is, well, our charity is predicated on it. It's that the giver of a good deed doesn't ask for anything in return at the time. So, Vince, I might give you a coffee, but I don't want you to give me anything in return. But
Yeah.
when you come across someone in the future, I want you to carry over that good deed. So what we do is we kind of coach basketball in the community in less affluent communities with the aim of inspiring these kids to become young leaders and in their own right, and to pay it forward to their communities. Because if we can create a kind of butterfly effect and they can do that,
Mhm.
then we can start moving to different areas and spread our resources a bit further.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we got it from, and I take it from these two guys that coached me when I was 8. One of them actually, knowing that my parents didn't drive at the
Yeah.
time, and my dad was working abroad, and my mum didn't drive, that I couldn't make it to our basketball sessions. So he would come
Oh.
pick me up every single day and take me to
Wow.
basketball and bring me home. He would just
Oh.
drive me for it was about 3 years. He did consistently did that, and that investment of time that he put into me, I carried over, and it just grew, man.
Yeah, and it grows and grows. And the charity says the Rising Stars Charity, and
Yeah.
which is operates out of Glasgow. And you have it's a volunteer driven organization that seeks to provide weekly after school basketball coaching to young people aged to 10 to 18. And that's amazing because you don't hear a lot of professional Scottish players, in the NBA and everywhere. But this increases it. How do you see the transition of basketball becoming a more dominant sport in Scotland? Because you don't hear about that a lot.
Yeah, we've got some pretty interesting stuff going on,
Mm,
actually. Not even Scotland wide, but even in Glasgow. So,
mm,
uh, the good thing about our charity is
mm.
my co-trustee and co-founder is actually the head of the Glasgow University men's basketball team
Oh,
program and
nice.
overall program. So
Okay.
we've got links right through from primary school to secondary to
Mm,
university level basketball.
mhm,
But then, they've got very close links to our professional team that was the Glasgow Rocks, because the head coach Gareth Murray, who
mhm.
was actually in an NBA draft pick at one point, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
He's a pretty good player. He was our defensive coach at once upon a time. So
Okay.
we actually sometimes will loan university players to scrimmage with their guys,
Nice.
and they will sometimes come across to our sessions, and we kind of mix and match. So we've got a pathway that goes from primary right through to pro.
Mhm.
Um, and on top of that, the Glasgow Rocks now changed to the Caledonia Gladiators about
Okay.
8 to 10 months ago,
Okay.
and they won their first silverware in 20 years. So they won the BBL trophy or cup, one of the two. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So now they've committed to building their own sports facility in Glasgow in
Mm.
2024. It's a 20 million pound sports facility.
Wow.
Um, and then on top of that, Basketball Scotland has just bought a sports facility in Glasgow as well. So we now have two sports facilities that are opening in my city in Glasgow, which opens up a lot of opportunities for young people in our communities. So
Well, dilly dilly, sir. I didn't think that was going to grow that fast because, from what I remember, now you're the co-founder of the Rising Stars program.
yeah, yeah,
But about 2 years ago, you were part of the FIBA Foundation Youth Leadership Program.
that's
How
correct. Yeah.
did that help you become the co-founder, or was that already in the workings that you're going to do it no matter what? Or did it help?
Yeah, so I mean, I started up. It used to be a social outreach project in
Mm,
2018 that was run by the basketball club, and there
okay.
was an amazing guy called Kieran Dowling who kind of started this project.
Mhm.
He was leaving university. He recruited me as a coach at the time, and
Nice.
when I was just coaching on the weekly sessions, and I was like, hey, I've watched Coach Carter. I know what kids from less affluent communities do. They get to a certain age and they get into trouble. And growing up in a community like that, I was like, well, why are we just doing the basketball? Why don't
Mhm.
we help them do a little bit more?
Yeah.
Let's get them into the university. Let's show them that they can
Mm,
be here in a few years. This is possible and within reach. And
yeah.
then let's try to work on their academics.
Mhm.
So at that time, it was a new idea, and I kind of went into FIBA.
Yeah.
FIBA really helped me make a lot of connections across the basketball space, gave me a little bit of attention, a little bit of media, and then a little bit of funding as well. So within the FIBA project, we went from being a social outreach project to a charity, because I knew that I was going to be based in Glasgow throughout my kind of junior years of work, of medical training, for at least 5 years. So I was like, well, I'm here. I want to stay consistent to this project. Let's make it an official thing, and I'll be a trustee. So
nice. My goodness, you're literally you're 27. I'm 33. I have not done this much. You have given back. You're going to heaven. Okay, I know that. You're going to heaven.
I mean, look at you, man. You are promoting the sport far and wide. You've definitely underselling yourself there.
I'm gonna keep that. Now, also the thing is that's just the surface, because you were recently appointed the International Olympic Committee youth leader or young leader, and what responsibilities come with that? Because I just did an Olympic event, but when it comes to you being a young leader at 27, it's got to have a lot of weight on that shoulder.
Yeah, and it's good that I'm still a young leader, because I looked at an application for something else the other day, and apparently I'm not young anymore. So, no, the IFC Young Leaders Program, it's a great program. It's a very prestigious program, and there's a lot of investment that goes into it. But it's a 4-year project, and it's kind of takes young leaders, one from each country. What you do is you develop either a social business based on the kind of Yunus Sports Hub, Muhammad Yunus idea of social business, which is, a business that donates or uses all its profit for social good to solve a social problem, or to find like a kind of social project through that would hopefully have a bit of sustainability wrapped behind it.
Beautiful.
I got to the point where the Rising Stars was a charity, and it was running well, and we had a lot of stakeholders that were invested in our project. But I wanted to have a revenue stream so that we could self-fund ourselves, but maybe eventually be a little bit of a NGO helping other organizations as well.
Okay.
So to get there, I developed this idea for a business, like a social business. That is now what I proposed to the IOC when I applied, is that I've got this idea. I want to create it. I want to use the revenue for charitable work that we do, but also for other organizations. And so that involves a little bit of seed funding and 4 years of mentorship, coaching, connect groups, speaking engagements, etc. So we are just like 2-3 months in, and I've already went and met Professor Muhammad Yunus of Grameen Bank in the IOC Olympic House, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I've met some pretty incredible people. There's three Olympians in our group who are also IOC young leaders, so they're also trying to be business people at the same time.
Okay, so you're going all over, and like I said, you were going to post it again. If you just tuned in, this is Shots Fired. This is one and only Sharif Khalif. Again, he's part of the Olympic Committee. This man is in Glasgow. He's doing amazing things with charities. I love you too, bro. There on TikTok, you're saying what's up from House of Hoops. We got some people saying on YouTube, the Spurs did land the alien. The titles grabbed my attention. Yes, we're going to talk about that after this interview for sure. I'm not sure what these things are saying, because I don't know what you guys are saying. Sometimes they give me random words and I don't want to curse on stage. But you did say NGO. Now, I researched something called GAME, which is an international NGO. What is an NGO? Precisely.
So an NGO is a national governing organization. So it's usually some sort of company that has a stake in whatever goal it might be. So GAME itself is a NGO that promotes a lot of basketball activity, and they actually partnered up with FIBA to deliver our youth leadership course, which was global at the time. And it was mostly delivered by Zoom, just because of the way COVID was, and the kind of practicality of meeting in person. But they're inspirational, because Simon Pram, the kind of founder of GAME, was telling us that one of the first times he had a plan and idea, and he put so much effort into it, they had one person show up to the court. So he was like, okay, what are we going to do? How do we get more people? He played with them, he asked them questions, and they just built themselves, man. And now their turnover is millions. I don't actually know the exact figure, but they are huge. So the sky's the limit. That's maybe where we want to be in like 10-20 years, see how Scottish basketball evolves, and go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And I'm telling you, you're going to be the catalyst. You're the engine. You're that rocket ship that's going to get it there. You have a great personality, and you have all the energy. I mean, like saying that you were doing CrossFit and everything, but we kept sprinkling it. I want to get into this. you are going to sports medicine right now as a physical therapist or analyst. Can you see like what kind of sports medicine you're getting into?
So, well, I'm not in a formal training program yet because the kind of
Okay.
Scottish system doesn't really allow for that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've finished from my foundation years, so kind of my intern residency years, if we're talking American,
Hmm.
and I'm going into what we call like general practice
Okay.
training for 3 years. And then following that, it's a sports medicine training program, which is a 4 year program.
Hmm.
But I've done other things. So I've done a master's in sports and exercise medicine and a diploma in musculoskeletal medicine.
Oh,
So my aim is very much geared towards sport is incredible, and there's so much that we need to discover in
yeah.
sport. You look at a lot of ultra endurance athletes. I don't know if you know much about David Goggins or Ross Edgley. These names that come up,
Ooh,
they're just
I,
insane, man, and they're showing that human limits are so far beyond what we can imagine.
I've
So
seen it.
that is totally my interest. It's totally peaked. It's up here, and
Yeah.
I want to learn as much as I can, so I can see how far we can go.
Gotcha. I'll shout to Lebanon a little bit. Now, also with those athletes, now, do you believe again the body does shut down, but they still like I think that the saying is that it still has like 40 or 30% left in the tank when it starts shutting down. So you think it's mostly mental instead of the body, like when it comes to those things?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think David Goggins himself, he
Yeah.
quotes it. You're when you think you're at your max, you're actually only at 40%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You still got 60. You got
Mm,
60,
yeah.
and a lot of it is mental.
Mm,
Absolutely. There are people out there, ultra marathon runners, who are doing,
mm,
2 week ultra marathons. There's a guy right
mm.
now. I think his Instagram is called the Hardest Geezer. I'll give him a shout out. You should watch him. He's an English bloke, a ginger guy who is
Mm.
running the length of Africa right now.
What?
Yeah,
Of
he is running
Africa.
the length of Africa. This like pale English British guy who's probably getting sunburnt every single day is running the length of Africa, and he has already lost his stuff because they've been held at gunpoint and they've taken stuff off them. But he's luckily got a police escort now, and he's maybe 70 plus days in. I think he's going to be running till the end of 2023. So
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Brett Jones 412. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. That's insane. You got to follow. It said the hard geezer, the fit
the
geezer.
hardest geezer or something like that. Yeah,
The
he's a
hardest geezer.
yeah,
Oh,
he's an interesting guy.
nope. I'll be the softest geezer. I don't think I could do that. That is amazing. Now, just to land a plane on everything, and you wanted to come to the States and start medicine over here, but you're like, no, I ain't doing that no more. You had a weird experience. It's up to you. If you want to share it, you can. If you don't, we don't have to share
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to share it, man.
it.
I was preparing to move my life and my wife over to the States. So I'd been going to summer camp in Scranton, Pennsylvania for 4 years every summer.
Yeah.
And then the summer that I was taking then my girlfriend to
Mhm.
propose to her and be
Yeah.
like, hey, like we got engaged in America. This is where we could live. A week before we got engaged, we were in a bar, like a local bar to our camp, and a guy came out again. Well, he was playing pool initially, got very
Mhm.
drunk, and then pulled out his gun and started holding up the whole bar. So my wife was like, "Hell no, you are never moving here." So yeah, that we kind of de-escalated that situation over the course of 45 minutes. That's how long it felt anyway.
Yep. And then now
So
you.
as much as I wanted to move to America, my wife is not having it. So it is now a life in the UK or in Europe. So
Hey, happy wife, happy life. Now we're just gonna talk a little about basketball. Now, did you get to watch the NBA draft at all?
I watched a little bit of it. So
Mm,
I've been busy. I've been working lots of night shifts, but I know that
mm,
Victor got drafted to the
yeah.
Spurs. I know that
Mm,
Scoot Henderson is
mhm,
in with the Trailblazers.
yeah.
I can't remember the two twins' names as well that are
Omar
in
Numa, yep.
making history in the top 10 as well. So
Yep.
that's pretty
Now
cool, man.
it's crazy. Now you've been over there in Europe. It is Victor Wembanyama the hype? Because I don't know if you got to see him live because he's right over there across the pond for like not across the pond, the
Yeah,
lake for you. So is he
yeah.
that nice?
Well, he seems to be a pretty big deal. And
Hmm.
like, I mean, because this year it's been difficult, so I've been
Yeah.
watching a lot of highlights rather than games
Yeah.
because games are in the middle of the night for us.
Uh-huh.
But Victor's name is everywhere, and I don't think anyone can open their Facebook page or their Instagram without
Uh-huh.
seeing his name. So I don't know if he'll live up to the hype, but certainly San Antonio Spurs is a great organization. And, could he be a Tim Duncan? Could he put on some muscle mass and show that he could be a Tim Duncan? Because that might be the thing, if a lot of these amazing prospects, I was a big D Rose fan, man. I was a big D Rose fan.
That first step.
So these guys, they come in and they're gonna live up to the hype, but then they get injured. So it's just, you want them to do the best thing that they can do, and you want them to become resilient, absolutely. And if he has anything like D Rose's rookie season, man, I'll be excited.
Good. Now, Sharif, you've been amazing. I know you got to get some sleep. There's two things I'm going to ask you. This right here is your platform. Do you have anything you want to say to anyone watching as inspiration? Because what you're doing is absolutely beautiful. Getting your hands in so many different charitable events, but also spreading, great advice and also wisdom when it comes to life itself. Like you said, just as long as you're a little bit better the next day, you're doing a good thing. But this is your soapbox. Is there any kind of quote, everything that you've been using that's helped you become the man you are today?
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of quoted it earlier, Coach Carter. There's a quote in there, and it's not a Coach Carter quote originally. It's a Marianne Williamson quote. But our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, and it's that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that inspire. I could say the whole thing, but like what I'm saying, right, is there are so many people out there, so many kids that don't have opportunities, that just need a role model, just someone to pick them up, to tell them that they can do it. When we're children, we think we can do so much, and it's only society that brings us down. So if I can inspire anyone to go out there and volunteer and help a kid, coach a kid, fund a kid's education or whatever to do better, man, you can have a huge impact on their lives. So that's what I do it. I don't really want anything in return from it. I actually, the joy I get from it is my return. But doors open when you're willing to do stuff for other people, and people tend to gravitate towards you, and you gravitate towards them, and the whole thing just works a little bit better.
Yep. As a pay it forward, thank you so much for joining us. And if you just say your name and this is Shots Fired, we can send you off.
Absolutely. So my name is Sharif Khalif, and this is Shots Fired.
Oh, he got it. All right, man. Look, I don't know the opposite of Shabak Aher, but I know good night, Aher. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me. Good night. Enjoy the rest of the show, and I'll be watching it again, because this energy, I just need it in my everyday life, man.
I got you, brother. Shukran, I'll see you later, brother. Oh man, that guy needs to get some sleep. This man is an inspiration. I don't know about you, but that's what you call an interview, baby. That's the one and only Sharif Khalif, and everybody that's in the chat. I see right now someone saying Wemby is overrated. Oh, we're gonna talk about just a little bit. We got people that you want to get on Shots Fired. You trying to say my producer is from France, saying, whoa. What you mean overrated? What you mean? Oh, calm down. Okay, we're gonna say, yo, Akash Shadi, I see y'all. Hey, look, I see y'all right now on YouTube. Sorry, my one and only, my brother, Uskade Elite. It's been a while. I know better basketball training. Go Spurs. What's good? Do I know any Hindi language? Not that much. I'm trying to teach myself at least hello, goodbye, and thank you in every language possible. Also, yes, I am in Australia. What's up? Joseph, España, what's going on? Please reply. Akash, I'm right here. You're from India. I feel you, brother. All right, and we got FIBA in here. No todo bien. I know that one. But okay, yo. We just start off the show the way it's supposed to go. All right, y'all. So anyway, that was our guest. And then now we can go to our original scheduled program, in which we go to the one and only Talent Overload. And we're going to highlight somebody, because I think you know who he is, but this man is a problem. Right here, Talent Overload here in Shots Fired. Let's go! All right, we got Pennsylvania in the house. Brett, I love to see it. We got some people in the chat here on Twitch. You are watching Shots Fired, a show that is powered by FIBA and also produced by Jelly Smack, in which we try to take the hottest basketball content to keep you uploaded within an hour show. But let me know where you're watching from. Let me give you a shout out. Let me see what country you're from. But it's your man, Mitch Chang, the energy ready to go. And this one right here is Town Overload, which we're going to bring it up right now. some town overload, we're going to talk about the man I think you already know. This man right here is Mikey Williams. Born in 2004, is an American basketball prodigy who's been making waves in the sport from a young age. I mean, this dude ain't that tall. I'm 6'3". He's standing at 6'2", weighing 195 pounds, and Williams has shown exponential skills, exponential potential when it comes to being a shooting guard and a what? Point guard. Hey, like one of my favorite shooting guards, small forwards. It's Carter. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. Okay, you can't touch him. You can't touch him. But anyway, here's the thing: Williams' journey in basketball began at a very, very young age. Okay, he first held the basketball when he was just 11 months old, and by the time he was in 7th grade, 8th grade, he was then ranked the #1 player in the 2023 class by the Naismith National Youth All-American Report. 6'6". Now, his high school career started at San Ysidro High School in San Diego. As a freshman, he made a significant impact, averaging over 29.9 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.9 assists per game. This man is insane. Now, we keep going on and on and on because the outstanding performance earned him the national title of the Max Press National Freshman Year. What? And he later transferred to Lake Norman Christian School in Huntersville, North Carolina, before he returned to San Ysidro in his senior year. I hope I pronounced that right. It's San Ysidro? I don't know how to pronounce that. I got a city college education. Anyway, Williams' skills on the court have earned him 4-star recruit status in 2023 by 24/7 Sports, ESPN, and Rivals, and has received offers from numerous, okay, look at this, numerous Division I programs in November 2022. He committed to play basketball for the Memphis Tigers. All right, on the court, Williams is known for his exponential scoring ability and his knack for getting to the basket and finishing at the rim, as you can see, the beautiful jelly, and always possessing a reliable jumper, making him a threat from any part of the court. This guy is a 3-tier scorer, all right? His athleticism and quickness allowed him to excel on the defense end as well, where he can guard multiple positions, baby. Right there, you know, Mr. Batel, he's a diaper dandy. And in addition to his physical skills, Williams is also recognized for his basketball IQ. No guy basketball IQ, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he ain't that tall. But again, he has the strongest standing of the game, which allows him to make smart decisions on the court. He's a good passer who can find his open teammates. And also he has a knack for making plays in clutch situations. Despite his young age, this man, Williams, has shown a level of maturity and dedication of the game that is beyond his years. I mean, I see people right now from Australia, better basketball, and you produce some great ballers in there in Australia, okay? The NBL is sick. All right. Shout out to my man Corey Homicide Williams, commentating over there. And I know LaMelo Ball came over there, and also my man Jamal Murray. That was Bubble Murray, and he's man's a champion right now on the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, I shout out to Australia. Australia, I want to move, please. If there's anybody gonna give jobs to be an announcer in Australia, it's Vince Chang 21 at gmail.com. Let's do it. Anyway, I love that. But anyway, back to Mikey Williams. He's known to work his ethic and desire to continue to improve his game, and his commitment of excellence combined with his natural talent makes him one of the most promising young players in basketball today. Mikey Williams is the next one, but we're going to talk about this one that's already coming to the NBA. Now, that was talent overload, but now we got breaking news, and I got some people talking some smack saying Wemby's overrated, so let's break it down a little bit about the NBA draft. Right here, breaking news. Shots fired. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go. We going. I got music in my ear, so I'm having a good time. Let's go. Fire. Oh, now, breaking news. Here we go. What's going on? Let's just talk 1 second. As we know, Victor Wembanyama is finally an NBA player. We've been hearing about this man left to right. You've been hearing more about your mom, but it's the thing. As it's time, this freshman phenom is now on his way. You know why? Because as he finally lands in San Antonio as the first pick of the 2023 NBA draft, Wembanyama has visibly, emotionally has achieved his dream. Visibly, okay? He's probably the dream of the Spurs fan to have. It's amazing. And yet landed a generational talent. Good on them, Mike. Good on them. And the rest of the NBA aren't jealous at all. But anyway, awkward kind of beat, but you know what? That's what you got to do. You got to make sure you get that right pick. But elsewhere, Brandon Miller won the battle of the second pick, as you see him right here. And also, he inks a deal with the Charlotte Hornets, joining LaMelo Ball. Hopefully, LaMelo's good. He's been hurt a little bit. Wow, someone that we know a little bit who's pretty good, man named Scoot Henderson. Again, LaMelo Ball right there. Look at him. Ready to ball out. I mean, I hope you're better, man. It's crazy. You got crazy. But Scoot Henderson right here joins the Portland Trailblazers at number 3, and he will link up with some pretty known names that we know about. I don't know, maybe a guy that puts all this all the time, Damian Lillard, and also with the Portland move the star man on to embrace you. We don't know. Damian, Scoot, we'll see if they can work together. But we have to wait to see with that one, because at the end of the day, we never know. You got these young players now thinking they're more grown than they ever are. So you need some leadership. And that's the other thing. That's what LeBron was so key, I thought, in the Lakers, because I thought he was going to train younger players. But sometimes happens. But Damian's a pretty good guy. But anyway, but the one thing for sure is that Portland all of a sudden has a nice young core. I mean, you got Scoot, we got Fernie Simmons, and then also we got the only one that's basically nice, Shannon Sharp. So we got some good ballers going. So Scoot and Sharp will be throwing down highlight dunks, left, right, center for sure. And you know what? That's beautiful to watch, because the thing is that when you got a young team, most organizations think it's going to be promising, and all you got to do is keep them healthy. But then you got that veteran leadership, and then it can go on and on. Now you got the explosive twins, Amen and Ashar, both went 4 and 5, coming from overtime elite, the pro league in Georgia, to the Detroit Pistons, and also the Houston Rockets, which Tracy McGrady played. I love him, and respectively, they make history to be the first brothers drafted in the top 10 of the same draft, breaking records already, baby. The late bloomers of the draft boards, and Wembanyama's French teammate. We're going to talk about him because Wembanyama's we got the one and only Bilal Coulibaly. What's up, Coulibaly? Let's go, Coulibaly. Surprisingly jumped all the way to number 7 and lands with the Washington Wizards. And I hear that this was so unexpected. He was supposed to be like top 15. Good on you, bro. But then also you got the prospect of Monty Bates going at 49th with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then let's see that he came with the impact to the pro ranks. You know what I mean? He's doing the he's clawing back from some of those lost momentum. We'll see what happens. Overall, 7. I don't know how to say 7 in French, but 7 European players were selected in the 2023 NBA draft. And as the international domination of the league continues at a rapid rate, clearly headline is one of them, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I'm sure I can speak for all of us here, even the people saying that he's trash. We can't wait to see him suit up for the Spurs and make an immediate impact. Because at the end of the day, this guy was said by LeBron James. He's not a superhero. He's not a superstar. He's an alien. And man, oh man, this alien is going to ball out. My dream is for him to play Kevin Durant, but I wish they could play it at the height. I mean, Victor Wembanyama is one of those big men, quote unquote, standing over 7 feet, that could take off the ball, cross over, and know how exactly get to the basket. But the thing about that is that how you going to guard him when you got grown men strength, okay, going against him? Okay, he's a little frail. Okay, if I speak, I may snap a bone. I'm just saying, you got to eat a cheeseburger. And I don't know what they eat in France, escargot, croissants, and what baguette. But guess what? You better stop eating baguettes and be eating some cheeseburgers, okay? And baguette burger, because you got to put some away on that bouquet, okay? But yo, we're excited to watch you play. Let's see some people. What's good, brother? Please direct the Lithuanian decent prospect for the country. Lithuanian, we already did a shout out to Lithuania a couple shows back. That's a definitely basketball powerhouse. I love him so much. But let's see, everybody. Akash says he's so excited. Definitely. Homicide is the guy. Better Training is the guy. With Scott Elite, I know you're still in here, baby. Who is right now still here on Twitch? Okay, we got a couple hundred people in here. I like it. Now, we were just talking about Victor Wembanyama. Let's do a simulation of what he could do in the NBA. After this, it's actually going to be a nice little taste of how it's going to be. So here is the NBA 2K segment of Shots Fired. Let's check it out. Now, I want you guys to let you know we're going to do a pop-up show this Monday coming up, okay? This Monday coming up, we're going to have another show on July 3rd. Reason why we got to talk about it, we just made history. FIBA and NBA 2K has basically signed a contract together, and some big things are happening. Your man Vince Chang was out in Singapore being a part of Olympic Esports Week 2023, in which we had an exhibition match of NBA 2K with 3 countries that competed in eFIBA Season 1 out of the 30 national teams. It was a great turnout. Me and my man Chris Simpson did a thing, but my man Nicola and Gustavo behind the scenes, and also everyone from the IOC was beautiful. And I have to admit, I think we have a shot of making an Olympic sport, like a real one. But let's just do a little heads up of what Victor Wembanyama can do in NBA 2K. Now, as you see right now, some people like to, speculate, but this man is insane. I mean, Victor Wembanyama is somebody that can definitely ball. I mean, if you don't know who he is, he's over 7'5", all right? He's 19 years old. Now, they put him on the Jazz, but he's going to the Spurs. Now, January 4, 2004, this man was born, and he was a French professional basketball player that's going to the San Antonio Spurs right in the NBA and considered one of the greatest basketball prospects of this generation. I mean, selected first is already at a height, pinnacle, such honor when it comes to the NBA. But this man is skilled. I've actually seen him play in the French league, which is amazing. And then when he was on the Metropolitans 92, and he's a problem, not only on the offensive side, but also on the defensive side. His basketball IQ is recently, he claps like this, like a sea otter though. I don't know why, but I hope it's just because his hands doesn't hurt, but I'm so, if I ever meet you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just ruined up everybody. Next time we watch him clap, just Okay, but anyway, this is shot fired. I'm gonna shoot shots. But anyway, this French national team, man, is definitely a problem because, again, decently he's nice, but offensively he's sick. He has a freaking amazing shot behind the arc. I mean, I've always talked about Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Durant on how they can shoot. When you're over 7 foot, it's very hard to defend that because when you put your hand up, he's already up. His wingspan is already way too high. You're not disrupting the shot. So if you know how to get that shot up and able to get the ball from your hip right to your chin, you ain't stopping it. If you could just stroke it in, and as they say in NBA 2K, stroke it green. But I gotta admit though, when he gets to the basket, he's very versatile. He knows how to move his body. He definitely has a Derrick Rose-ish as the man Sharif Khalif was mentioning, because he can change his body movement in mid-air. Now, when it comes to the NBA, it's a lot faster game than it was before and less physical. So he may do a lot better. But if this man was in the 90s, I best believe he ain't going to do nothing about Carmelo. He ain't going to do nothing against KG. He ain't going to do nothing against AI. So you better back up. You better come right here in the 2023. This is the only time you can play, boy. Only time you can play. But he probably would have did something to get more meters. Again, if he hits the gym, people are saying he's going to be the next Tim Duncan. But don't forget, Tim Duncan didn't really take up the ball. Tim Duncan didn't really play a guard. Tim Duncan was a designated backboard shooting big man. Most iconic backboard shooting big man ever to bless the game. Also number 21, my favorite player. Also he had Ginobili. Also he had Tony Parker. Yeah. But the Spurs, again, Papa bitch. I mean, he made a great foundation. We'll see what's going to happen with the new Spurs. But I am very curious to see how Victor Wembanyama is going to do in the NBA. Let me know how y'all going to think he's going to do in the NBA. In the chat, on TikTok, on YouTube, and of course on Twitch. How do you feel Victor Wembanyama is going to do in the NBA? Do you think he's going to be a flop, or do you think he's actually going to live to the hype? I mean, the only player to get this kind of hype ever was LeBron James, and this is coming up from high school. This guy is 19 years old, and everyone's going to look at him. He's been underneath a microscope from 21. The man can't fit in most first-class seats, but yet he still is keeping poise. I haven't heard anything bad about him, thank God, because, you know, when it comes to young kids, you know what we're talking about. You know, they sometimes can't control themselves. But on the flip side, what makes me interested with Victor Wembanyama is that he's an international player. And this is what I'm talking about. Next year's Olympic year. And shout out to France. Les Bleus is going to be hosting the Olympics. What team can America create right now to compete with these international players? And we just talked. It's the international dominance, the European dominance in the NBA draft. Who do we have here to create a real starting five? And don't get me wrong, a starting five with maybe 4 bench players from America. I'll wait. Exactly. Look, we don't have a true big man out here. Okay, Bam may do it, but I think he's also Nigerian. So, okay, we got Bam. But then Trae Young, what we got? Okay, we got Donovan Mitchell. Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he can go back to Greece and do his thing. Okay, Victor Wembanyama is from France. He's going to go back. Okay, Rudy Gobert, he's going to France. Like, who else? Steven Adams. I mean, he's hurt, but he's gonna go back. Okay, John Morant. He's okay. Maybe Joel Embiid. No, Joel Embiid's gonna go back. So maybe Africa. So who do we have? Who do we have as Americans? Okay, like really? Because here's the thing: if you have dual citizenship, I think the rule is that you can still play for the American team, but you can also play for your national team. So wouldn't it be more prestigious to be the one to beat America than being a part of America? Like, just think about that. That's some shots fired for your backside. Wouldn't you rather be the team that took down Goliath than being Goliath? Just think about it. Because again, let me know. Me and my homegirl Mo Moret from Team USA, we're talking about this. Who do we have? Shout out to another follow. What's up, Griswold? Thank you to Griswold. Appreciation, Jutsu, for you. Thank you so much. But yeah, we'll have to wait for regular season. You Scotty Elite. You're right. We have to wait for regular season. But yeah, I just want to know, who do we have? Who do we have to make? Ronnie, I'm shouting you out right now, baby. I'm shouting you out right now. Thank you so. Where you watching from, Ronnie? Where you watching from? I just want to know. I just want to know. I think it's a very easy ask. It's very easy to see what's going on. All right, but here's the thing. We're gonna keep going the show because we got a FIBA story, and this FIBA story I actually learned a lot about. I didn't know this happened when it came to the World Cup. So here's the FIBA story here in Shots Fired. Let's go. Okay, we're getting closer, but let's get right here to what's going on in FIBA because the World Cup is here. They put it up for me, my man. Here's the thing. We're getting closer and closer to the FIBA World Cup, and I don't know if you heard, but there's a tradition that happens, and that is the Trophy Tour. Basically allows the ultimate prize, the Naismith Trophy, to travel to the four corners of the world. I never knew that happened, but that is amazing for me. And here's the thing. For the record, it was named after, because I don't know, the #1 Dr. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball in Canada. But you guessed it, it stops in 30 countries that qualified for the FIBA World Cup 2023 before making stops in the competition's host countries. First in Japan, then it's going to be in Indonesia, and now in the Philippines. And that's pretty cool. First, it allows people to meet the fans from around the world, but it also gives the opportunity to generate even more interest to the world tournament, which is insane. It's exciting! And it serves to promote basketball. Now, for a quick question, let me see if you've been following along. This year, the FIBA World Cup is proud to count a new nation amongst participants. And so if you got it, well, of course we do. And guess what? It's the one and only Cape Verde. Cape Verde has qualified, which is amazing. I think it's called Green Cape, and that's beautiful. Of course, the Trophy Tour is going to stop there, and frankly, I love to see that trophy there too. And also, I want to go to that place because this is going to be absolutely insane. I mean, look at this dunk, and this team went through the ringer. I mean, straight up balling, okay? Because I gotta admit, Cape Verde is really beautiful. Look at this island. Like, look at it. The Naismith Trophy will arrive on the island and was photographed in front of some famous landmarks, like the statue of Cesaria Evora. Right there. That's a beautiful thing here. And ring any bells? She was a Cape Verdean singer-songwriter who won a Grammy in 2004 for her album Voz del Amor. Okay? Voz del Amor. Again, remember this name. Cesaria Evora. That's beautiful. Voz del Amor. And you know what? We don't know many famous people around the world when it comes to these small islands, and it's beautiful to know that's there. But that's not all. The president of Cape Verde Basketball Federation, Mario Correa, and the national team coach, Emmanuel Trovada, and the team captain, Fidel Mendonoca, accompanied the Naismith Trophy and was transported to various locations. And now the Naismith Trophy has also posed in front of a lot of other places, okay? Now, there's some significant places. We're taking a sip of water. Right there. Now, I found some like nice little goods. So it went in front of the Manza Floating Hub in Mindelo Bay, which is absolutely beautiful. I definitely want to visit that one day. So the Manza Floating Hub, Manza Floating Hub in Mindelo Bay. That's it right there. And then also the Faro del Dona Maria, Pia, and then also the Royal Fortress of San Felipe. By the way, it made it way other places around Cape Verde. But here's the thing. Stay tuned if you want to learn more about Cape Verde, because this is right after in a segment called the Worldwide Court. And I gotta admit, this is making my throat dry. Woo! Excusez-moi. Now, I don't know if they speak French in Cape Verde. I think they do, because my producer was speaking French. I speak Portuguese. I know bon dia, but I don't. He was saying something about Caravada Verde. I was like, what are you talking about? Caravada Verde. I said, okay, whatever. But I'm very excited about this one because I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to my man Thomas Olivier. He puts these countries that I would never probably done research on. I'm not gonna lie. I probably wouldn't have researched if I didn't hear about them, and I learned so much more. Like learning about Lithuania, Greece, and stuff like that. It's great. But these smaller islands are amazing. So let's just, without further ado, get to the next segment, Worldwide Court, here on Shots Fired. All right, let's see my people on YouTube, see my people on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And also, Ronnie, I see you, baby. All right, let me go. Worldwide Court, we're going to talk about this beautiful island. Cape Verde is an island off the west coast of Africa with a population of just over 500,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do Cape Verde and basketball have in common? Well, most people would think not a lot. I mean, there's a basketball culture on the island. In fact, it's never been as big as it is right now due to the recent success of the national team. And guess what? Let's go back in time. And you see this man, look how young he is, got all his teeth. I've never been that young in my life, but I wish I could be that. But you see, Cape Verde did an amazing job when it came to FIBA, and man, oh man, I'm so proud. Joined FIBA in 1988, and it took them a decade to achieve anything. I mean, they reached their classification stage and the preliminary round in the Afro basketball in like 1997. 1999. Then over the best part of the following decade, the team failed to qualify for the tournament before finishing third place in 2007. I mean, that's insane. I mean, it's not a lot of backing when it came into Cape Verde because it's a small island and most of my islands don't have it. But I gotta admit, they finished their highest in the tournament in the date in which they had a bronze medal just recently, which is awesome. I mean, come on, 2007 bronze medal. What? Third place? You should be proud of yourself. But I gotta admit, in the quarterfinal run in 2013, they did round of a 16 run, like literally 16 run in 2015, before an impressive 4th place finish in 2021. And then, not to the big one, they're going to the FIBA World Cup. All right, they got the FIBA World Cup, which they should be really proud of, which is insane. I mean, Cape Verde has never qualified for the tournament since joining FIBA, but ahead of the 2023 tournament, the national miraculously marked their place in the event. That's what I'm talking about. You go, baby. You go, nation. And doing so, they become the smallest nation to ever qualify for the FIBA World Cup, breaking a record previously held by Montenegro. Impressive, right? Oh, yes, it is. And there's a life in, Cape Verde basketball, for sure. In addition, there's been one player of the national team that's playing the NBA, too. I mean, come on. You got the one and only from the former Atlanta Hawk and Cleveland Cavalier and current Real Madrid player, Eddie Tavares. Okay? Eddie Tavares, Tavares, I think I'm pronouncing right, Tavares, featured on the Hawks in 2015-16 and 2016-17, making 12 appearances, averaging 2.27 points and 1.9 rebounds. Look, you're still averaging stuff. In the latter season, he showed out for the Cavs, making a single appearance, scoring 6 points in 24 minutes. Also grabbing 10 rebounds and 6 blocks. That's right. 6. Woo! 6 blocks. I like it. And that's a bit of history of the Cape Verde basketball. All right. History that we added to come by the 2023 FIBA World Cup. And I'm so excited for these smaller nations to represent themselves because that's the thing about basketball. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're on a mountain. Doesn't matter if you live in the ocean. If there's a court, there's a goal in a basketball, and you can dribble and you can do your thing, you can prosper in this game. It takes discipline, it takes heart, and of course, it takes love for the game. And if you got that, it doesn't matter what flag you got in your back, you got your chance to represent yourself. Now, with the FIBA World Cup, always amazing to see that every 4 years they're able to do that. But then you also got the Olympics. So I'm just excited to watch this team show out. And you know what? Like I said before, USA, you ain't the hegemon no more. You ain't the top dog. So you better start doing some work because these country countries are coming for you. Think about that. All right, let's see my people there on Twitch. Anybody want to press that follow button? Thank you so much for joining us. Also, Scott and Lee, always a pleasure seeing you, baby. And also, Akash, I see you better basketball training. Whoosh, let's see you. And also, my people on TikTok, thank you for coming through. This right here was episode 18. I know you saw episode 20 before. We missed 2 shows, but we're going to get back into it. Again, we're going to have another show Monday, July 3rd, special show. We're going to highlight the Olympic Esports Week of 2023. I'm going to talk about it, some behind-the-scenes stuff. It was such an amazing experience there in Singapore. The people were great. The food was delicious, but also the event was absolutely outstanding. And I admit the energy was real. And your man Vince Chang was there, and that was dope. So anyway, it was a pleasure. I'm going to see you guys in a couple of days. This right here is Shots Fired. Shout out to my man Sasha, a.k.a. Buckets Buenos. This man's doing his thing, being the engineer. I'm always going to give him a shout out also to Jelly Smack doing their thing, powered by FIBA. We got more and more events for you. And I told you in the previous show before the break, watch out for NBA 2K. Start playing that game. You may have a chance to represent your country when it comes to a video game. Just think about that. Anyway, it's been your man, Vince Chang. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Peace out, A-Time down, and I'll see you in a couple of days.